Do you know when you meet someone and you deeply want to connect with them? You want to be able to feel their feelings, to be happy when they're happy, to be sad when they're sad, to understand exactly what is going on in their lives. You want to be able to hear and tell stories and share deep opinions and understand each other's values because you feel you can connect with people. You know when we feel like we are able to understand people's feelings, sometimes we don't. Sometimes we actually have a lot of struggle trying to connect with someone. You know, when we deeply want to straighten our bonds with people, but somehow we just can't. It seems like there's a weird force, like an invisible barrier blocking us to actually understand what's going on with the people we want to connect to. And the fun part is that sometimes we actually have this feeling, this desire to connect with them, but it seems like we have something on us that just makes us unable to connect with them. I remember when I was a kid, I was around 12, and I had a good friend of mine, and he invited me to hang out and to do a sleepover on his place. And I went there, we were chilling, we were playing Minecraft or something, and suddenly he started crying. And I thought we were very connected. I thought we were very close. But he started telling me things, and I couldn't connect with him. I couldn't actually get what he was saying and help him. And I felt so powerless. And that makes me think how many opportunities, how many friends, how many connections we missed because we couldn't actually connect with people. How many moments, how many laughs, how many tears, how many feelings we could have experienced just if we had that connection. And there are a lot of stuff to overcome when we want to connect with people because maybe we might just have a problem where we can't relate to people's problems at all. Maybe we are just emotionally tired, because after a long day, after a lot of work, we get tired. This is completely normal. Maybe we have to deal with the lack of practice because maybe we have the disposal, we have the time, we just lack the the capacity to actually connect with people, to understand them and to relate to them. And most of this is just because of empathy. This is the key word, empathy. And being empathetic is not something bad at all, and I thought it was. But then I realized that holy shit, hold up. Being over empathetic is terrible because your life is just painful. But when you know how to dose like empatheticness, I don't really know if this word actually exists. But when we can dose it, then we can actually connect with people in a way that we never thought was possible before. We can actually have like this brotherhood among men, this sisterhood among women. We look people in the eyes and we can almost have a full conversation in the blink of an eye because we know each other so well, we feel each other so well, we have such a deep connection either with your friends or with your family or with your, I don't know, sexual partner or with anyone. And suddenly everything is better. because it is beneficial to us to be empathetic, because connections are very powerful. Most families are just on the top because they have these connections. But their connections are mostly superficial most of the times. But we can grow through deep and genuine connections with people. And why should we actually do it? Not only for our sake, but for humanity's sake in general, because we grow up when we have these connections. We can actually relate to people. We learn and we teach when we are connected. Like there, there is also I don't watch animes anymore, but I remember an anime called Kisniver, and it is all about that. It's all about feeling each other's pain to themselves, feeling each other happiness, and then you grow through it. You actually just become a new being because you connect with people, because now you can actually understand your own feelings because you understand another person's feelings, and then you can deal better, and then your mental health gets better, and then your life gets better, and then suddenly everything around you just suddenly starts like improving on its own way. You have a greater social impact for the simple fact that people value you. Imagine like you are a valuable person for a ton of people. Imagine that. When you have these deep connections, people would die for you, and you would die for them because you understand their pains, you understand what's going on with their lives. And to be honest, connection is not the biggest thing to you, but to humanity, like to mankind, to maintain this sense of community, to maintain this like never ending cycle of humanity. Connection is the most important thing we can make. And how do we actually do it? Like, how do we connect with people? Because sometimes it's just hard as fuck and we don't actually know how to do it. So we have like steps, or we have like this, uh, I don't know, yeah, just call it steps that we can follow, and we can actually connect with people. And the first thing we need to do to actually connect with people is asking questions and trying to understand and put put another person's shoes. Imagine if your mom's crying. Well, the first thing you need to do to actually understand her is ask her questions, and not only are you okay? Oh, what makes you like that? No, on your day-to-day life, go ask questions about her life and about what's going on and about her thoughts of something. And I tried to implement it recently, and before I couldn't actually ask her about deep stuff for example about her past, about some traumatic events she went through, and suddenly, slowly, you go start like asking these questions like gently, not like, oh yeah, tell me everything that makes you feel terrible, like these deep questions that makes you think and makes you share, and suddenly you will start to understand people around you better. So start asking these small questions, and then go and do these deep questions, have these deep conversations, because then when they're said, you are 100% like, I don't know, 5 times, 10 times better at understanding what they're feeling, because you understand their story, you understand their pains, you understand what makes them happy, you understand what makes them sad. You might get confused in the start, but after a while, it's just the normal process, because it's a person that you truly understand. If they are sad, you might understand the reason. You might not agree with it, and this is something important. You might even not agree with what they are feeling. But if you understand, this is the most important thing to empathy. You also need to validate people's feelings. Imagine if you said something that made your sister, your little sister sad. You might not actually care at all, and this is completely normal because we usually don't care about this thing, you know, like this brother like rivalry or something. But talk to her, like connect with your sister, bro. Like she's your family. Goddamn, isn't family our most important resource? Connect with her, ask her questions, and then once she answers you, you need to understand that she has feelings and they need to be validated. Like if she's sad because I said something rude, you, even if you don't actually understand, even if you don't actually agree, just say okay. I understand why you are feeling this. There is a powerful line sometimes I use, and sometimes it might seem like it is just superficial, but say like, if I were you, I would feel the same thing. Because if you stop to think, if we had the exact same genes, the exact same experiences, the exact same philosophies, we would be feeling the exactly feeling that she is feeling. So after all, connect with people. Like validate their emotions. Actually do the small effort of understanding what someone might feel. Develop your emotional vocabulary. Like I'm gonna there's a list of like 50 or 75 words that you can use to describe, like, I don't know, almost every single feeling. And I'm gonna do a notion list like in the description or something with these words if you want to just check it, you know. And develop this emotional literacy. Like understand these words might help you when asking questions, when understanding, and when saying yourself what you're feeling. And there are a lot of mistakes and fears people have because you might feel overwhelmed by people's feelings, and you might feel weak because you are sharing something that is sensitive to you. You might feel like you aren't good enough to actually deal with people's feelings, but you are. You are a human being. You were created to be able to relate to people. And we as a species have this nature desire to keep our like human race going on. So community and connections are like the best things we can do. So we are programmed to connect with each other. So don't think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna look like a pussy. I'm gonna look like I am a fucking weak little kid crying for help. No, you are just a person that wants deep connections, and there is nothing wrong with that. We all want this brotherhood. Like as a man, you don't think I want to go camp with, I don't know, 6, 7 guys, and we are just there like in a fire, in our like campfire, no, sitting in like these logs that we cut, and we are talking about deep and emotional things, and we are sharing these real life situations we went through. And it's not that hard to actually get to this point, but first to get to this point you need to start slow. The first thing you can actually do is like just listen to songs, like get a sad song, get a sad happy song, listen to the lyrics and try to connect with the singer, with the author anyway, to the artist, you know. Try to understand them. How was this song made? Like what is this feeling? What is the feeling that the artist want me to feel? Does does the artist want me to feel happiness, sadness, confusion, angriness? What am I supposed to feel? Also, like this emotional podcasts moments For example, there is a clip of Jordan Peterson. I'm gonna link in the description as well. Being asked if he's okay, and he broke in tears because the person who asked him genuinely tried to establish a connection. And Jordan Peterson fucking broke down in tears almost. How powerful is that? A simple question. So go to podcast and try to understand. Okay, what what was the pathway that made everything to a point where you ask a simple question and someone breaks in tears? Watch movies and put yourself there. Like, damn, you just need to sit down and, and watch a movie. But try to understand, like, imagine if the main character is crying or is in profound despair. Like, try to understand their pain. Like, try to feel the same despair they are feeling. And then you can connect with them and say, holy shit, actually there's not much difference and I can truly understand. You might not agree. You might think it's the most stupid reason, but you can feel, you can connect. Talk to people, ask people stories. Like, on Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, the scene where the dog ask like Puss in Boots, like, what is your story? And his eyes start to shine. And my story, because we love ourselves. Most people love themselves. We love ourselves, so we like to share our stories. So imagine if someone goes to you and asks, tell me about your story, tell me about your life, tell me about your most intense moments. Bro, we're gonna love this person. Like, if you come here and ask me like my most wholesome stories, I will instantly love you. And I will also want to connect with you and understand your stories and make a friendship, a strong friendship, and maybe a lifetime friend. And when you are having these conversations, have these deep and emotional talks and topics to talk about. Just talk to people. An additional tip, you can actually also volunteer and go to these, like, I don't know, these Africa places where people need help, and you will actually be very fragile when you get out of there, because you will see like, holy shit, there are a lot of people with a miserable life, very miserable life, and most of the times they don't know what to do to change it. Maybe if you stay there for a week, for 2 weeks, you goddamn will know what it is like to be in someone's shoes. Goodbye.